Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful to have all of you watching today. In today's video, I want to talk about this trending topic about Jordyn Woods cheating with Tristan. I want to talk specifically about the red table talk that Jada had with Jordyn. I am so grateful that Jada gave this young woman the opportunity to speak her own truth. She gave her the platform to share her own perspective of what really happened. I'm so grateful for that. So I'll talk about the red table talk, and another thing I want to talk about is Khloe's reaction to the red table talk. I want to review the reactions and then I'll tell you exactly what I think, and I want to talk about these issues as it relates to women empowerment. So first of all, let's review Jordyn's testimony or her account of what happened. She said that there was a party, and as the culture is in LA, after the party they went to an after party, which is usually in somebody's home. It just so happened that the after party was at Tristan's home. So she said that she tagged along and she went to the home. She didn't think it was a big deal because this was not a private party. It wasn't just she and Tristan. Everybody went there, so she didn't think it's a big deal. I also don't think it's a big deal. So at this home they were partying. Obviously they were drinking, they were dancing. One thing that she mentioned that raised the question mark with me was that they were sitting close to one another, and she mentioned that her feet were close to his feet, either on top of his feet or below his feet. So she said from afar it could seem that they were too close to one another, so she understands why people would have an issue with that. So I really appreciated her maturity in looking at this from other people's perspective. So I think we should give her that. She does recognize where she went wrong. She also mentioned that there was no prior communication with Tristan before this event, that they were not planning any private meetups. This was just a one-time thing at this event. She also mentioned that nothing happened. Jada actually put her on the spot and asked her directly, did you have sexual relations with Tristan? She responded no, that they did not sleep together. However, she mentioned that on her way out in the morning. So another thing I should mention, she did mention in her account of what happened that she stayed there overnight, that she probably had a little too much to drink, so she stayed there until about 7 o'clock in the morning, but the sun was already coming up, so she left around that time. And I think based on what she said, of course, he was seeing her off at the door or something like that. He then kissed her, and that's where I kind of lost her, because when she was asked about her reaction, her story kind of, which I can understand, when you're confused, you don't know what is happening, but I didn't really understand what her reaction really was, because Jada asked her, were you shocked? She was like, I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, I need to get out of here. I don't know, unless she was still under the influence of alcohol. I think the reaction would be, yeah, shock is an understandable emotion, a bit of anger, or hey, what the hell are you doing, something. But I don't know, we all respond to issues differently, so I can't question her response, but I wasn't clear about what exactly did she do. But she did mention that there was a car waiting for her, so she left. So the one thing that I really appreciated from this talk was that Jada didn't judge her one bit. It seems that, or at least according to Jada, because before they started this interview, Will Smith actually called in. Will mentioned that Jordyn's father worked on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so they were very close with Jordyn's father, and so he actually feels protective of Jordyn and wants to offer her fatherly advice, and after that Jada also mentioned that they're very close, that Jada watched Jordyn grow up. So there's that closeness, I think, with the Smith family. So I really loved to see that she had that kind of support, because when things like this happen in public, I really feel bad, because one thing is, she's still a young girl. She's still very young, and I love that there was no judgment from Jada's part. She just said, "Hey, this is for you to share your truth." But also, even though she didn't judge her, she didn't let her off the hook. Like, there's still accountability Jordyn needs to take. You need to take some accountability. You need to take responsibility. You need to recognize that you hurt people. You hurt people that have loved you, people that have trusted you. And I loved seeing, Jordyn get it. And I was like, wow, this is such a powerful moment, in my perspective, for women. For a woman in Jada's position to call a younger woman. I love when, I don't like to use the word older, but I like to use the word seasoned. I love when seasoned women can call the younger ones and say, "You have messed up. I want you to know that you've messed up, but it's not the end of the world." This girl is only 21 years old, you guys. How many of us can say, in a court of law, can take an oath and say that we have not made any mistakes at 21 years old? She's only 21 years old. Before they started the Red Table Talk, it broke my heart to see some of the words that people used to describe her, SLUT. I'm like, come on. And it's so disheartening. It's so heartbreaking to think and to realize and to know that it's other women calling this girl this name. And I know what she did was wrong, but I really appreciated to see Jada kind of take her under her wing and say, "You messed up, but there's a healing that can happen," and giving her advice that, yes, you can reach out to people that you've hurt. The first thing is to recognize that you've hurt these people, and then allow them the process that they need for them to heal. It might take days. She mentioned, Jada said to Jordyn that it might take days. For some people it takes months. For some people it takes years for the healing to begin, and for some to complete. It takes a long time. So the important thing is to give them time, and time, we know that heals all wounds. So I was really happy with this talk. I was very saddened to hear from Jordyn that the reason she's speaking out is because her family is now in danger. Her younger sibling cannot go to school. Her brother or her mother cannot go to work. Come on, people. Are we really going to crucify this girl? First of all, she's young. We all make mistakes. And why exactly are we crucifying her? For what? I think that if she says, "I recognize where I went wrong," why exactly are we getting involved so much so that she would now not feel safe, and it will trickle down to her family, where even her younger sibling cannot go to school? Come on now, this is just going too far. It is going too far, and I appreciate that Jada is standing with this girl, and I also want to stand with her, not to condone what she did, but to say that how many of us can really say we have never done anything wrong? I used to, my grandfather used to teach us when we were young, that the only difference between the other person and yourself is that their sin is known and yours is still private. It's very easy to point fingers, but if the light is to be shined on you and your life, you will realize that we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Please, and in addressing these issues, especially with somebody so young, let us balance the truth with grace. Yes, she was wrong, but how do we move forward? Let us not name call. I don't think that is necessary. I really think that sometimes we go way too far. This is not to condone what these girls do, but think about even the Monica Lewinsky issue, the name calling, the you know, the labeling, and we find it okay. We dehumanize them, and we think that it's okay to call them whatever we can think about, without recognizing that we have daughters as well. Your daughter will make, I don't wish that on anybody's daughter, but your daughter may make mistakes in the future. You know, the parents can only teach us so far, can only take us so far. At the end of the day, we would have to stand by ourselves, learn from our own mistakes. You know, the same thing can happen to our own children. All I'm asking is that as we speak about this, let us balance grace with the truth. You know, your truth cannot be too harsh. You have to speak the truth in compassion, realizing that, hey, you also are not perfect. So as you speak about other people's issues, please exercise a little compassion. Okay, now moving forward to Khloe's reaction to the Red Table Talk. So she tweeted, "If you are going to try and save yourself by going public, instead of calling me privately to apologize first, at least be honest about your story." And she added, "By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." Well, so there are two things here. She says, instead of calling me privately to apologize first, but Jordyn did report that she tried texting Khloe to apologize. She offered, being hooked up to a lie detector test. She said that she basically offered everything humanly possible to give Khloe a peace of mind. But again, this is hearsay. We don't know who to believe here. This one is saying that they didn't get any apology. The other one is saying, "I did apologize." Well, there's really nothing we can say about that, because it's her truth, it's my truth, your truth, and the real truth. So there isn't much we can say about that. But what I want to talk about is this second part where she says, "By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." I find this a bit problematic, and I want to say this carefully, because I don't want it to come off as though I'm attacking Khloe. I understand pain, and I know sometimes when people speak, actually it's not them speaking, it's the pain speaking. And when we are in pain, many a times it's only natural to look for somebody to blame. It's natural to want to lash out at somebody. Maybe the other person is not so easy for us to lash out, or because we want to protect a relationship with them, because there are two people here. There's Tristan, and then there's Jordyn. So I don't know why it's Jordyn who is the reason for the broken family and not Tristan, because she said, "By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." I think this is just pain speaking. I think when she has healed, and time heals all wounds, and we of course pray that she will heal, but I think that, quite honestly, I think when she's calm, she would also realize that this is not true. It's really not possible to infiltrate a happy home, and we know from the past that this gentleman that she's with has done this before. So an argument could be made that if it was not Jordyn, it could have been anybody else. So I really think it's unfair to say that she's the reason that they broke up as a family. And I understand the betrayal. We are not, again, giving this young girl a pass, but we are saying, let the truth be the truth, and let us stand by the truth and not be emotionally driven. I think what she did was wrong. She shouldn't have gone to the house. She should not have put her feet on top of or under his feet. I don't know exactly what happened. She should not have stayed there overnight. That was really unnecessary. She did say, though, that she wasn't the only one who stayed there overnight. But again, like I said earlier, when she was asked for her reaction, the story didn't quite add up for me. I think we know that she was wrong, and she did admit that she is wrong and she has taken responsibility. But I think to go as far as to say she's the reason the family broke up, I don't think this is the truth. I think that the family already had problems before this issue. So, and then another thing that she said that I kind of found problematic, also related to this tweet, the first tweet about, by the way, you're the reason my family broke up, is when she responded to something and she said Tristan is equally to blame, but Tristan is the father of my child. That statement is really packed. He is equally to blame, but if you look at the meaning of the word but, it is used to introduce a phrase or clause contrasting with what has already been mentioned. So you're saying that he is equally to blame, but not so much compared to the other girl. So I kind of don't get the rationale there. Again, I understand where she's coming from, but I would think that the man is more to blame because he is the one that has the child with her. I would say that in terms of betrayal, he's the one that betrayed her the most. So I don't understand the rationale here, but again, I understand that it is pain. I think when she is calm, she would understand, or in her quiet time with God, I hope that she would know that this was just pain, and that it's not just the girl who broke up the relationship. I don't think that's how the world works. Anyway, that is all I had to say about the Khloe tweets. And again, this is not an attack on her. I wish her the very best, and I really hate to see marriages break up or relationships break up. And there's something that was said on Married to Medicine before by Dr. Heavenly's husband, that when marriages fail or when relationships fail, the devil wins because he comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So when this happens, he enjoys it. And I think that when conflict comes and when we feel heartbroken and betrayed, we have to try and fight past it so that we are not emotionally driven. Again, it's very, very difficult to do, but just so that if there's hope, don't say anything that you will later regret, or don't say anything. This is to Jordyn and Khloe, that they shouldn't say anything that would destroy all possibilities of a reconciliation. I think that probably taking some time off, and I think that the media is also not helping matters, of course, because everybody wants a story, but I do think that both parties need to heal, especially Khloe, because she has a little girl to care for, and wholesome parents raise wholesome children. I really believe that you need to be whole as a mother in order to pour into your daughter, in order to empower your daughter so that she doesn't have to repeat the mistakes that you have done before. I wish them the very best, and I want to know what you think about this. Let us know what you think about this issue, and what you think we can do as women in issues like this. And I say this because this is something that I'm really passionate about, women empowerment. I started off saying that I'm really grateful to Jada, because I think women empowerment is not something we should do when it's beautiful, when everything is just rosy. I think women empowerment should also be done when it's difficult, when hearts are broken. We should come together and talk to one another, or talk about one another in a way that is not belittling, in a way that is not condescending, in a way that is not insulting, is not name calling. And I think we can call out one another on mistakes without really crucifying one another. One of the things this girl said that broke my heart, she said, what I did is a mistake, but it's not worth public crucifixion. So I think that is just a loaded statement. We don't need to get to the point where we are crucifying one another. We can balance the truth with grace and compassion, and know that tomorrow it may be us who made the mistakes. It could be our daughters. So let us be gracious in this time to both parties and wish them the very best. Let us know what you think on the comment section below. Again, if you have yet to subscribe, please do subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss any more videos from this channel. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.